You obviously broke it this morning, Kareem Hunt being suspended for 8 games by Commissioner Roger Goodell. Take us through the process that led up to the 8 games as opposed to 6 games or even 10 games or getting suspended for the season. Why did they come with that, or why did they come to the conclusion of an 8-game suspension?
Well, Stephen A., I think that, honestly, I had been hearing during the season that it could be 10 to 12 games. And I think what happens here in the course of these discussions is Kareem Hunt went to the league office, sat down with the commissioner. He's been in anger management counseling since the Chiefs released him. He's been in alcohol counseling since the Chiefs released him. He's tried to take the steps that he believed he needed to gain entry back into the league and to have the suspension be as short as possible. And I think in this particular case what happened is, I don't know this. I'm speculating. Being that I kept hearing it's going to be 10 to 12 games, it wouldn't surprise me if during the course of the conversations with Kareem and his legal team, the NFL said, look, we're going to suspend this guy 12 games. And they said, well, we don't think that's fair. We think it should be 4 to 6 games. And they said, well, we don't want to go through this long, drawn-out appeal process and have this be on SportsCenter every single day throughout the spring and summer. What if we come up with a happy medium? NFL is comfortable with 8. Are you comfortable with 8? Yes, we're comfortable with 8. And they come to that so that he doesn't appeal it, which he's not. And everybody just goes on. They turn the page. The NFL announces it on a Friday in the busiest week of the league year when the college basketball is on ESPN round the clock. And everybody just wants to move on from it. It's hard to forget the images of Kareem Hunt pushing and shoving a woman. Mm-hmm. And you always have to wonder about her and how she's doing. And it will always be a part of his resume and his character. And I think he's tried to grow from that. And you hope that the woman is okay from that. But the league felt like with his cooperation in this case and him not appealing, my guess is that it was going to be longer. And with the lack of appeal, everybody was good on signing off at 8.
Did the NFL reach the conclusion that he may have been a bit inebriated? He had been drinking at that particular moment in time when this all happened?
I don't know that they reached that conclusion, but I think that it's fair to say, Stephen A., whether it was that night or the other 2 incidents that he was involved in, because keep in mind there were 3 separate incidents that the league looked into, investigated, reviewed documents for, interviewed witnesses. There were 3 incidents over the course of a calendar year that involved Kareem. I think that the league deduced that alcohol played a role in this. How much? I don't know.
Adam
but
Schefter,
it was a part of it. It was a part of it, and that's why he's going through alcohol counseling now.
Adam Schefter, one of the reasons why I'm shocked that it was just 8 games is in this regard. If they're doing their investigation, I'm looking at the fact that the Kansas City Chiefs have basically let it be known that they were lied to, that he lied to their face. And I think that at times that those are the kind of things that ultimately count against you when somebody is trying to make a decision on what level of punishment you deserve. Talk to me about that for a second. Yes.
Yeah, but he paid the price for the lying from the Kansas City Chiefs. That's why when the video surfaced on Friday, November 30th, and it surfaced, if my memory serves me correctly, the video came out about 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and by 5 or 6 that night, he was released.
Yeah.
And the reason he was released was because he lied to the Chiefs. The NFL doesn't factor whether he lied to the Chiefs into its decision about how long Kareem Hunt is going to be disciplined for. They're looking at 3 separate incidents. The Chiefs took the action they did to a certain extent because he lied to them. He wasn't honest to them. And the Chiefs couldn't live with that, with a guy that basically misled his employers. So he was released in Kansas City. And now the NFL conducted its investigation based on the fact that there were 3 separate incidents of violence, alleged violence, of video, of pushing and kicking a woman, of assault, of whatever it may be, alcohol. And so the league determined from those 3 separate investigations that Kareem Hunt deserved an 8-game suspension. Him lying to the Chiefs had nothing to do with the NFL's decision.
Adam Schefter right here with Stephen A., ESPN Radio, ESPN News. With that being said, what kind of fallout, if any at all, does the NFL anticipate that the NFL may anticipate comes their way in light of the fact that it was just 8 games?
Well, I think you read the comments on social media and you see people saying, oh, Zeke Elliott gets 6 games. There was no video. There was no evidence. Even though people had different suspicions, he got 6 games. There was a clear video for Kareem Hunt. There was a clear video on one incident. There were 2 other incidents. He gets 8 games. Now, I think the one thing that we've seen over time, Stephen A., is that you basically get separate. The league has basically increased its discipline on certain crimes, instances, all those things. And so that's what happens here. And the league is basically not giving the benefit of the doubt to the player anymore, and that's what happened here.